friends. Oh, happy Wednesday. How we feeling? Goodness, I gotta wait and make sure that y'all can hear me, and once I get the thumbs up that we are Gucci, we will hop right into it. I absolutely love this game. Good and can hear you? Thank you, I appreciate that. Okay. Let's hop in. For anyone who doesn't know, this is Our Life Beginnings and Always. We are hanging out with our dude, Cove Holden. We got to hang out with him at 8 years old, at 13 years old, and now in step 3, we are 18 years old. So we're going left to right, top to bottom. So today will be errands. I do also have all the DLCs, so we have these DLC moments, then we have Baxter's DLC moments. I am going through because I am going to unlock the ending for all 3 of the boys. So Cove, Derek, and Baxter. We'll probably do Cove's ending, and then the wedding DLC will be a whole different stream because the endings are really long and the wedding DLC is phenomenal but also really long. That's kind of where my head's at right now. As it is, it's seeming like all of these moments are probably going to be their own individual streams. So that means we still got a couple weeks of content here. Probably another month of this game would be my guess, because I have to factor in the fact we do Superhero Sunday with Batman. And then just a little heads up, the endings for the boys and for Cove's wedding DLC, those might end up being special exception Saturday streams. I gotta plan some stuff because with how long I remember them being, I don't think I can start at my normal time, or I think I'd be on here till the wee hours. The wee hours of the morning are very late at night. Also, if you want to see anything that came before, I do have a couple streams up over on here from this week. But if you want to see even further back, you can watch everything else I've played of the game. It's up over on my YouTube, so consider checking that out if you want. Otherwise, just play the game for yourself. The main game with Cove is free, so you don't even have to buy anything. I buy everything that these people put out because I think that GB Games, GB Patch, the people who make it are very, very good. But yeah, okay. Let's get into it because we're already probably going to go a little over. We are on errands. From the moment you woke up, you knew that today was going to be busier than usual. There was a list of errands that needed to be finished before the day was done. First up was visiting one of the biggest farmers markets in the area. It was only open 2 weekends a month during certain parts of the year. It was rare that you and your family were able to attend, so your moms liked to make the most out of every minute of it. And you realized it was not just them feeling that way when you heard a whistle from your left side. Wow, this is a swanky show. Vegetables have never seemed so highbrow. Seriously, they don't mess around with their products. Isn't it exciting? Okay, I will say at least I'm not so grown up that the farmer's market thing excites me yet. And yeah, it is Hunter. I can show you later if you want. Liz crossed her arms. You could tell she was amused. We couldn't have picked a more perfect trip. It's been too long since we've had a true family outing. Oh boy. Her teasing tone said more than she actually did. Your next door neighbors had joined you this day, and that's what made it a true family outing. The three parents laughed approvingly. Poor Cove. Out of the corner of your eye, you caught Cove looking at you sympathetically. Some things never changed, and some jokes never died. You'd long accepted that. I mean, the trip might be fun. You smiled, trying to imagine how many stalls were set up. You were curious what hidden gems were waiting for you to discover among them. Well, I'm ready to get started. I've got plenty of dishes in mind I could use ingredients for. Before your moms responded to that, they glanced at each other and smiled. Oh, are they speaking in mom code? Yes, that's a very good idea, Cliff. This place is much larger than it seems. It's difficult to visit each part in a single day. I'm sure we can make a decent dent together at least. Actually, since there are so many of us this time, we could take different sides of the market. Divide and conquer, eh? That sounds brilliant. Everyone watched your moms, surprised. No one had considered that an option, but your mom flashed the group a dazzling smile, continuing with the thought. Though it's a little unfair that there are 4 Thrasher family members and only 2 Holdens here, so I'll go with you boys to even out the odds. That's fine with me. Cliff scratched the back of his neck awkwardly. He wasn't sure where to look or what to say. That was not a problem his son had. I don't like that idea. Don't worry, we'll be apart for only a few hours, and then we'll have something to talk about at the end of it. After the additional nudging, Cove nodded with a sigh. He realized this wasn't an argument he was going to win. Alright. I don't get the point, but I also don't mind spending the first part of the trip with Blake and Ma. Ma clapped her hands together at that. Wonderful. Are the teams ready to go? Hey, I didn't agree to anything. What you mean? You kept your tone even and confident, and you crossed your arms. It wasn't fair that you weren't given any say. Ma hooked an arm around you with a little side hug. You're right. I'm sorry for not hearing your opinion first, but could you go along with the plan for a little while? The tension relaxed in your shoulders. She gave you another side hug squeeze. If I have to. Taking the lead, Mom walked over towards Cove and Cliff, who were still eyeing her confusedly. Come on, boys, we're heading out. Sure. Okay. Cove looked at you softly and found himself pulled forward, stopping in front of you. His expression flickered for a moment, hesitant. Bye. Bye. Suddenly he twitched slightly, his whole body getting stiff. He jerked his gaze back at your mom, and you realized that she had grabbed the hem of his shirt. She gave a small tug before letting go. Time's a wasting, Cove, and I've known you long enough to be aware that you're one to linger. If I don't stop you now, you'll only drag your feet on parting ways more. Yeah, it really is difficult to separate me and Cove, though, because Cove's like, no, this is my person, what you mean? Not Mom calling Cove the fuck out, okay, I see you. The two of you can survive one morning apart, probably. We have important shopping to do now. Cove gasped at what he felt was a truly obscene thing to say. His face burned red, but that was ignored by him. He spoke with an unimpressed roll of the eyes. You don't need to literally pull me away from Blake. I'm not that clingy. Debatable. Mom sniggered with, A shake of her head. Cove's eyebrows raised over the reaction, and he turned to Ma. She wouldn't meet his eyes. She whistled innocently. Liz smirked ear to ear, and Cove whipped his head towards his dad. Mr. Holden couldn't offer anything more than an apologetic shrug. Damn, everybody is like, Cove, you really are clingy though. He looked at everybody, and no one is helping my dude out. Poor Cove. It was only then that it dawned on Cove that everyone did think he was that needy. Finally, he dared to face you with wide, pleading eyes. Oh, I don't know. There's nothing wrong with being attached. It is nice. I think it's super sweet that they're cause they've grown up next to each other for the last, decade. It's nice that they're bonded. I want somebody like that. Be so for real. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being attached. It's nice. And you meant it. You very much enjoyed Cove's company and his affectionate nature, but that wasn't exactly a denial of what he was being accused of. Mom's smile grew. Cove couldn't believe that he was being completely outnumbered. His mouth twisted as he struggled to come up with something to say in his defense. Yeah, well, so what? That admission had Liz, your mom's, and his dad bursting into laughter. Poor Cove. Cove grimaced and walked several steps from the group before stopping. He clearly wanted to move on, so much that he was physically moving away. He smiled softly and waved goodbye. When he noticed, Cove's mouth pulled into a bent smile of his own, and he seemed to feel better a bit. See you in a few hours. Take care of yourselves. At that, Mom picked a direction and set out into the market with Mr. Holden and Cove following behind her. Grinning, Ma sent them off with a big wave. Liz gave a daintier goodbye wave herself. Despite the change in plans, maybe still glad to be there, I guess. It wasn't what you'd imagined, but that didn't matter. There was a whole market to explore, and you couldn't wait to find some good stuff. When they were gone, Ma cheerily turned towards you and Liz. She put her hands on her hips. Do you think there'll be any nice ginger around here? We'll have to find out. God, this sounds kinda boring, I'm not gonna lie, but it's fine. You nodded in agreement, keen to truly get the trip going. Ma led you both into the busy market. Some time passed browsing. There were only a few stalls you stopped at. You had fun chatting and laughing, pointing out various things to Ma and Liz, and vice versa. At one point, Ma stopped suddenly. She put a hand on her belly and gave a half-hearted smile. I think I should have used the bathroom before we left home like the two of you responsibly did. Just need to pee? Yes, Liz. I'll have to visit the ladies' room now. Should we wait here? Ma craned forward as she struggled to pinpoint the direction she needed to go. She gently brushed your comment away. There's no need to worry about me for this or waste time standing around. Keep on shopping. Though, actually, I might need help finding my way. Can you please come, Lizzie? You and your sister had to share a look over that. Why do that of all things? Ma, if anyone should go anywhere on their own, shouldn't it be you? You're the one needing a detour and you're the parent here. Ma giggled, unfazed by the resistance. Liz, meanwhile, tipped the brow of her hat up, watching Ma skeptically. Soon enough, Blake will have to handle doing these kinds of errands on their own. This makes good practice. Maybe don't, like, completely abandon me in a busy market. Just an idea. Because, like, no one agreed. I didn't agree. What? Yeah, I agree. What? Ma hooked an arm around Liz's and pulled her along. Have fun. We'll find each other again later. Excuse me. Wait. The word burst from your lips as Ma and Liz waded into the crowd, but it was in vain. They were out of sight within moments, and what started as a group outing rapidly became you entirely on your own. Yeah, I feel like at this point I'd be a little done, because not only did the plans change when everybody grouped together and they're like, oh, we're gonna separate like this, but now it's changed again because now Ma and Liz straight up abandoning me. The fuck? Yeah. Done with the whole trip. I won't be here no more. I wanna go home. All you wanted was a normal day of errands. You sure didn't sign up for this. Text Cove to meet up 1,000%. At that point, you had no interest in your mom's plan. If they weren't going to stick around to follow it through, you were going to do what you actually wanted. Taking out your phone, you quickly pulled your chat with Cove up and sent, "Wanna shop together? Or could I join your group?" Ma and Liz went off themselves and left me. It wasn't long at all before you got a response back. Cove responded in rapid-fire messages. What? Wait. Where are you? That's how I text, though. I text like how I speak. You took a survey of your surroundings and then sent him a description of where you were and the path you took to get there. While you waited for his response, you watched all the people moving around and past you. There wasn't a single familiar face. Yeah, that would stress me out. I don't like public places a lot, especially when they're crowded, and I sure as hell wouldn't like being there alone. When your phone received a new text, you breathed a sigh of relief. Okay, I'm on my way. Great, thanks. Cove couldn't get there fast enough. There wasn't any reason that you could think of why you had to wander around the market alone. When you were certain Cove wasn't sending any more messages for now, you went to put your phone away. The familiar keychain caught your eye, bringing a warm smile to your lips. It was still so easy to remember those early days of your relationship with Cove. His pink cast, his big sad eyes, his frustration with his parents. But through it all, he was there. Since you met him, Cove had always been there. You had grown up to really appreciate what it meant. You placed your phone back where it belonged and checked around for a nearby stall to kill time at. One pulled your focus. Ooh. While most stalls were selling various garden-grown foods, this one had an array of homemade fudge. Ooh, fudge is good. There were even vegan versions of every option. Get closer to the stall. I want me some fudge. You sidestepped past a few other people and got yourself right in front of the counter for a better look. There was a wide spread, dozens and dozens of delicately cut squares of decadence. The owner smiled and approached you to explain their shop. The fudge is sold in boxes of 4 pieces. They either can be all the same, all different, or any mix you like. Are you looking to buy any today? To get myself a box. Your mind was already filling with thoughts of sinking your teeth into delicious fudge. There was no walking away empty-handed now. Get a box for Cove too. Looking at the treats made you think of Cove. You grinned, hoping he liked what you picked out. And you know what? Even though I'm pissed at everybody for switching up on me, sure, let's get a box for everybody to share too. The whole selection was too good not to share. And that was all. Yeah, I could use some fudge. I'm glad you came to the right place then. For yourself, you picked. Ooh, I get options. Okay, let's get a white chocolate one. Let's get a milk chocolate one. It's 4, right? Okay, so we'll do a milk chocolate, a white chocolate, a cookies and cream, and you know what? We'll do a chocolate peanut butter. For the group, let's get, you know what? We'll get some dark chocolate for the group because I don't personally like dark chocolate. We'll get a dark chocolate mint, a key lime, and a white chocolate peppermint. Why not? For Cove, you picked. We'll get him. Let's get him chocolate peanut butter, caramel swirl, chocolate toffee, and we'll do red velvet for Cove. I don't know. Sounds like fun to me. The shop owner carefully put your order together. You couldn't help but try to imagine how Cove might react when you presented this to him. Everyone else was definitely going to be happy when you regrouped later. You paid, and there was no stopping the large grin going all across your face. Pivoting on your heels, you wove your way back to where you were initially. You kept yourself on alert, trying to spot Cove among the crowd. Ah! For the next several minutes, you stood there on high alert, trying to spot Cove among the crowd. You broke into a smile when you saw his familiar seafoam hair sticking out above the masses. Want some fudge now? Yeah, this game has a habit of making me hungry. Especially the last moment with the ice cream truck. It always makes me want a fucking ice cream sandwich, I'm not gonna lie. It's our boy! Hello, my little ocean bean. How the hell are you? He hadn't seen you yet, but Cove was walking with purpose in your direction. You noticed he was hefting a couple bags in his hand. Cove, over here. He instantly stopped dead in his tracks. Alert, Cove's head snapped up and his eyes searched the crowd until they landed on you. His whole demeanor brightened at the sight. He is genuinely like the golden retriever boyfriend. Like, I don't know if y'all have seen the videos on TikTok, but people will ladies will post videos of either their boyfriend or their husband and be like golden retriever, because as soon as he spots them in the crowd, like they instantly light the fuck up. That is Cove. That is Cove right now, so hard. Blake. But even from a distance, you could tell his mood shifted again. He seemed serious. He weaved through passers-by awkwardly in an attempt to get through as fast as reasonably possible, nearly stumbling more than once. Poor clumsy Cove. I'm gonna sneeze, excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, we're better now. I do try and save y'all's ears when I can. Oh, that itch in my nose caught me so off guard. It is so sweet. I think it's adorable seeing videos of people's partners get so hyped finding them in a crowd. Especially because you can tell they're like long-term relationships. Like, it's not like they're still in that honeymoon phase. Like, it's a seasoned relationship. They've been through some stuff, and just the fact they still have that reaction is so fucking wholesome. What went over to him. You stepped around a few people to meet Cove partway. Are you alright? Yeah. What did my mom think about you coming? I have no idea. Yours weren't the only ones to just leave. Your mom took my dad before you even messaged. Okay, so they straight up abandoned both of us? The fuck is this? You're kidding. I wish. I can't believe this happened to both of us. They planned it. They had to. But I don't know why. Are they pranking us? I don't know. Their whole thing was that we could spend a morning apart, so why the fuck did they separate us and then ditch both of us? Families are fucking complicated. Y'all don't make any damn sense. I don't know either. And you meant it. You couldn't fathom what your moms were up to. Cove shook his head, trying to clear his mind. Well, I guess things are just up to us now. Yeah. So, his gaze wandered off as if one of your parents might simply appear if you kept checking, and you could tell he was still processing the situation. He scratched the back of his head, looking sheepish. Do you still want to go shopping with me? Definitely. Shopping with Cove! Cove beamed, and you were ecstatic at the thought of spending the rest of the trip with him. It was finally time to take some control back over your day. Even if we have to make our own fun, we're gonna have a good trip. Cove smiled at you encouragingly. It made you feel more optimistic now, definitely. I feel like Cove being a little positive, like glass half full person would definitely bring that side of me out more. It's easier to feel hopeless when you're on your own. Like when you feel isolated and stuff, it's very easy to be like, oh, everything sucks. Yeah, like I've been there. But when you have people that are like, hey, it's gonna be okay, we'll figure it the fuck out, we'll have fun, then it's easier to be like, yeah, you know what? Fine, we'll figure it out. Having him there was already comforting, and now he also seemed determined to improve your day by any means. That had you looking forward to what was coming next. So, where to first? I don't mind going back the way I came if it's new to you. It's not hard to miss stuff, even if I've gone past it. What have you gotten? Cove shuffled his bags around and started pulling them open so you could peek inside each one. You recognized the array of things he picked up around the market. I mostly got typical things I can use pretty easily so far. Nothing super exciting. And, well, I picked a few things I figured you might want to have too. There were a few tomatoes, some lemons, and potatoes, among other things that were wrapped up so you couldn't discern what they were. You chose perfectly. Thank you. What Cove bought made sense, but it was far from a complete selection. You glanced around at the nearby stalls. Want to start over there? Cove followed your eye as you pointed at one of the larger stalls. It was filled with several kinds of staple fruits and vegetables. Yeah, let's go. Shopping with Cove! He's so freaking sweet. Once a few people finished paying and moved, you and Cove got yourselves directly in front of the shop. There were so many things to pick from. Oh, damn. Okay. I want the fruit. Give me some oranges, some peaches, some strawberries, and give me tomatoes too. And you know what? And some apples. I want all the fruit. And that was everything. The shop owner put your selection together and handed it to you in a couple of bags. Happily, you paid and waited for Cove to make his purchase. Ready to go? Cove grinned, satisfied with his new choices. He had added another bag to his small but growing collection. You nodded.
Okay, now let's go. Together, you and Cove wandered the market on the lookout for any stalls that caught your attention.
I love shopping with Cove. He's so cute.
He's a baby. He's not, but he is. Even as a grown up, he's still a baby. Can't convince me otherwise. Cove was walking around with a spring in his step, talking about the various meal ideas he had in mind.
He's such a little chef.
After a while, you had to go greater distances to find something of interest. Several of the stalls were selling the same goods. It was only a matter now of which you wanted to buy from. You continued ambling down the path until Cove disappeared suddenly from your peripheral vision, pulling you away from your thoughts. Cove? You spun around, spotting him some steps back. He was standing still. You followed his eye line past the crowds. Immediately you knew what grabbed him: homemade jams and local honey. That stall was glittering with quaint glass jars stacked high, each encasing gels of varying colors. Cove's eyes were practically sparkling at the sight. Oh, he's so hyped! His feet automatically began to take him there, likely without being fully aware he had made an unexplained detour. When you got closer, you were surprised there were even more varieties than you thought. There were even different honeys based on what type of pollen the bees used. Damn, that is specific. Okay. Some honey and jam? It's a pretty good find. Good job, Cove. Cove's focus seemed torn between a bottle of blackberry jam and one of clover honey. Everything looks really good. Cove held up the 2 jars in his hands for you to see. He grinned ear to ear. I know, right? He continued to weigh the decision in his mind, actually lifting one higher and dropping the other lower during the process as if they were on a scale. You thought things over for yourself too. I want some strawberry jam, some raspberry jam, some blackberry jam, some blueberry jam. And that was everything. You paid and the shop owner started putting together your order. They carefully packed it in a single bag with paper. Thank you very much. Amused, you watched Cove give in and just buy both the clover honey and the blackberry jam. He also went all in, getting spring wildflower honey and plum jam too. The shop owner thoughtfully wrapped each in a brown paper to protect them before putting them away in a bag. He handed the purchase to Cove. Thank you. Aw, he's so happy he got jam. He got some jam and honey. He's vibing. You both stepped away from the stall. Cove didn't fail to notice the look you'd been giving him since he agonized over his toast toppers. Hey, this doesn't go bad for a long time, so why not stock up? I could have chosen one if I wanted to. Cove, I got multiple too. I'm not really judging you, I'm just kidding. Sure, and I get it. Why do you think I got so many too? Exactly. We both got like 4 things. Good then. As you began to stroll, Cove looked up at the sky. He smiled. It was sort of unexpected, considering all of this was technically an errand, and unexpected changes often upset him. But he was happy, and Cove liked doing this kind of normal thing. And you could tell that Cove especially enjoyed doing these kinds of things with you. feeling better than you were earlier, definitely. It was going to take a while before you could completely move on from being left in the middle of the market, but with Cove, you were happy. You could smile along with him. I'm glad you're having a good time. And you meant it. Cove's good mood was only helping to boost your own, and you were thankful for that. Are you? Yep. You put an emphasis on the popping P. Cove chuckled at your response, happy to see a change for the better in your mood. Later, when you spotted a less crowded area, you took a break from browsing. Cove started rummaging through one of his bags just to check on how his goods were doing. A smile grew on his face as he went on to the next. You chuckled, knowing that Cove wouldn't let anything go to waste. There wasn't a single doubt he was gonna eat it all. You held a hand in front of your face as you squinted upwards. The sun had moved quite a bit. You'd been at the market for a good while now. Neither your feet nor your arms were sore right now. And Cove looked to be doing fine too, but that was something that could be coming. There was a price to pay for this much shopping, and it wasn't always just in money. Yeah, I'm not gonna ask him for a piggyback ride on this one. We can be a team, we'll figure it the fuck out. Quietly enjoyed the break from walking. There was a breeze that you just barely noticed in the air, and you contentedly sighed, happy that the weather was cooperative for the market. It made things even better. Hey, wanna ride? Staring at him quizzically, you raised an eyebrow. Cove chuckled awkwardly, and his cheeks turned a slight shade of pink. He tried again. I mean a piggyback ride. You could take a little rest. I don't mind. Not him offering! Yeah, okay, I'd like that. I mean, if he's gonna offer, then okay, cool. I love that he got so used to giving my character piggyback rides that he's just like, hey, you want a piggyback ride? They're so cute. Hi, Sad. How are you, my friend? They're so sweet. I love them. Cove needs to be protected forever, and you'll never change my mind. Cove crouched down low so you could climb on. You pressed yourself against his back and comfortably wrapped your arms around his neck. Once you were in position, he stood. Your head steadily rose high above the crowds. It was lifting your spirits pretty literally. Cove huffed, letting out a breathy laugh. Are you okay? Yeah, just realized this means I'm the one carrying all the bags too, not just you. Should I get down? No, I've got it. He wants to do it. He's like, I got this. It'll be fine. Cove took a few test steps and then stopped. He grinned, pleased with himself. Ready to get going? I love Cove so much. That's wild, Sad. Okay, I see you. Not time going by and stuff. Keep an eye out for any good deals while you're up there. You got the best view around. Laughing, you craned your head up to get as high as you could, keeping your hold on him secure. Cove was right. You had a whole new perspective. I'm on it. And with that, you and Cove continued your trip through the market together. Ma and Mom had both texted you during the trip, though only to say that they hoped you found some good stuff and that they'd see you later. There were no answers on where they went or why. You and Cove continued to wind your way through the bustling market, the list of outstanding items steadily shrinking while bags grew heavier. As you had an unrivaled view of the market thanks to Cove's height. Locating the produce your heart desired had been easy. Carrying every single thing purchased as well as another person made it hard for Cove to check his own phone, so he'd made do without. Eventually, though, he said that he ought to check if anything important had come through. So your ride came to a stop out of the flow of foot traffic, and you dismounted his back. Cove rearranged all the bags he was carrying, freeing a hand so he could pull out his phone. You watched his eyes dart over the screen as he read the waiting messages. Not important, I can reply to that later. He mumbled his verdict under his breath. Then Cove's face scrunched up with confusion. Wait, I've got a message from my dad. Listen to this. Cove, I wasn't part of the plan. I didn't know what was going on when I left with Blake's mom. Where are you? Oh boy. The drama! He sent that ages ago. I didn't hear it come in. He's sent another one since then. Says he hopes I'm alright and that he's not bothering me. The newest one says everybody's going to the parking lot soon and we can meet up there. He lowered his phone, eyes narrowed. The same conclusion that was settling on you had landed on Cove as well. So it was on purpose. Your parents weren't off riding bikes into the sunset this time. It was something entirely different. He lifted the phone again, staring hard at the screen. Didn't my mom pull this stunt when we were little? You know, that time she took us to the mall? Oh my god, yeah, she did. It's the same thing and I don't know why. Yeah, but at least your mom said she was leaving. Not is this a mom thing, it really might be. At least your mom said she was leaving. Yeah, that's true. Why does he look so sad? The crowd of people passing by stayed as noisy as ever, a sharp contrast to the silence that had fallen over you and Cove. He was rubbing the screen of his phone against his shirt, wiping away dust and debris. He continued scrubbing the screen long after anything could have remained, the action a poor substitute for pushing away the awkwardness of the moment. Hi Jojo, how are you? We're shopping with Cove and he's stressed out. I feel like I'd be irritated. I think there was no reason for them to split us up and then ditch both of us, and then we had to go find each other in this crowded market. Like, we're also at this point, here's the thing. What Cove's mom did, they were all like kid teens, like, you know, still under other people's supervision. So her communicating like, hey, I'm gonna let you guys walk around alone makes sense. Whereas this, like, now my character and Cove are both 18. Like, we're grown-ass adults and they're still doing some foolish shit. Okay, no problem. I got you. I am also EP Jojo. I don't know how long I'm gonna be up after my stream if I'm being so honest. I feel it in my body. Yeah, I think I'd be pissed. Y'all are goofing around for what? Doing some clown shit. You weren't a toy for them to play stupid games with. How could they think this stunt was alright? How are they going to explain this? Genuinely, though. Cove leaned down, making his eyes level with yours. He laid his hands on your shoulders, grounding you. Cove's frown grew taut, his mouth a stiff, serious line, but his eyes wide with concern. I'm sorry about your mom leaving you alone out here like this without warning. His speech was slower than usual. You suspected that he was choosing each word carefully. It was unnatural, but you appreciated that he didn't want to risk upsetting you further. I don't know if you want to talk to them about this, but I can definitely back you up. I totally get that it's sucky. I love him. He's like, whatever you want to do about it, I'm with you. I feel like I would vent about it. I'm sorry, Cove. No one deserves to be on the receiving ends of my fucking rants and vents. Yeah, vented about the debacle. I didn't want this. You took a deep breath. Shouting at Cove in the middle of the farmer's market wouldn't help. When you spoke again, your anger was more controlled. They didn't even bother asking if anyone else thought it was a good idea. Cove listened, nodding gently as you unburdened yourself. You then drew a deep breath, the fresh air steadying you. You didn't stop until your lungs were full. Cove watched over you, still concerned. I'm sorry, even though I guess it's not exactly my fault this time, but is there anything I could do to make you feel better? Even a little bit? I love him! Look at this sweet boy! He's just such a guy. I love him. You already have. I did? Yeah, you really did. Cove nodded in understanding. He smiled, a simple, open, and honest smile, and you knew that he'd accepted your answer. After a moment, he stepped further away from you, face turned. Cove is so sweet. Don't get me wrong. I love Derek, and Baxter is my favorite, but Cove is like just best friend for life type material. Like, I want Cove as my real life bestie, though. Cove closed his eyes and took a deep breath. His brow creased, then furrowed deeper into a scowl. His arms tightly coiled together. So they did do something stupid. I knew it. Oh, it's Cove's turn to be mad. You know what? We're being angry in shifts, and I can appreciate that. His voice had taken on an exaggerated quality, but what truly distinguished it from Cove's typical speaking tone was the abundance of rage. Not rage. This is such a chore. Parents are so dumb. Why do people have to go places with family members anyways? I hate them. I also hate farmers markets. Okay, Cove, I feel your energy. You got it instantly. It had been years since the boy with the bowl cut had been in town for the summer, but Cove had never forgotten. To this day, he continued to unleash his impersonation whenever the moment felt right. Sometimes you wondered if the act had grown more exaggerated over the years, or if the kid really was always that ridiculous. Yeah, I get it. Burst out laughing. And every time it never failed to crack you up. Cove gave you a lopsided smile, letting the joke rest for now. Come on, we should probably go meet up with the group. Yeah, I love him. Listen, I know Cove is a fictional character. I know my brain logically understands he's not real, but hear me out. I feel like a Cove hug would heal my soul. I can't explain it. I don't have proof of it. It's just this feeling in my bones of a hug from Cove would fix me. I don't know. You didn't dally any longer, slipping back into the crowd and making your way towards the entrance of the farmer's market. It didn't take long to reach the parking lot. Your parents, Mr. Holden, and Liz were already waiting there, and they waved at you both as you approached. Your own family seemed to be in pretty good moods, in contrast to Mr. Holden. He stared at Cove with open concern as you got closer. Hey, bud. Hey, Blake. How you doing? A hug from Cove would fix everything. Plus, he's like all tall and shit. So, and I don't know. Something about getting hugs from people taller than you is just so fucking comforting. We'd be doing better if we hadn't been abandoned in a farmer's market by our families. You saw your mom's frowning at his response, Ma glancing from Cove to Mom with blinking eyes. Just because Blake is really laid back doesn't mean you can just leave them out of your plans and expect them to go with it every time. Damn, not Cove sticking up for us though. I'm so here for it. Holy shit. Cove really said fuck around, find out. I'm done with all y'all. Ma hung her head ashamed, and Mom had a hand pressed to her cheek. You could tell they were quickly regretting their scheme. I'm so sorry, Blake. Her words were full of emotion. Mom squeezed Ma's arm. We were trying to make the errand more of a trip, less of a chore. Ma nodded. We didn't think you, Cove, and Liz wanted to be stuck trudging around a market with your parents all day. Especially not in the summer. But you're always very thoughtful and don't like to leave your moms behind, so we did it ourselves. It was only going to be for the market, not the other stops, I promise. Still, you're right. We could have just told you and let you make your own call. I really am sorry. Neither of us meant to upset you. All gas, no brakes, and we should have known better. Sorry. Ma ditched me too, after pulling her urgent potty break stunt, if that helps. I went off to do my own shopping, as it seems they planned. Sorry I didn't check back in with you. I wasn't thinking and just tried to blow it off. You quietly took in their stories of what happened. Over to the side, Cove was talking to his dad. Thanks for telling me something was up, though I feel bad for missing the warning when you sent it. It's no trouble, sport. I learned my lesson about making surprise plans. Cove smiled at his dad. Mr. Holden, laughing, clapped Cove on the back. Wow, we're really being outplayed today. You realized you hadn't been the only onlookers to the Holden's moment. Your moms were exchanging rueful looks. Liz had her arms crossed over her chest, patiently watching it all unfold. Yes, looks like it. We'd better find some way to catch up. Maybe we can do Blake's chores for the next week? I don't know how doing chores makes up for ditching me in a farmer's market, but I guess good on you for trying to brainstorm. I would keep workshopping it though. Mom jabbed Ma on the shoulder. You might be onto something. Blake, how'd you like the sound of that? They looked at you hopefully. I mean, I guess sure sounds good to me. I don't fucking know. Good, we're serious. And at the very least, we can make sure everyone stays together for the rest of the stops we're making today. You all nodded at the suggestion. We won't let you down. We'll be the best sheepdogs ever, guarding the flock and catching any strays. Jesus. We could at least be shepherds. You chuckled, your mood lifting in spite of the bumpy morning. It was going to be alright. Not them actually having, healthy families. You turned to the entrance for the farmer's market for one final glance, pressing it into your memory under this new light. You thought on what you'd picked up at the market and how you were going to enjoy it later. Some things you could only get from local suppliers like this. That was another perk about coming along to the market today. Actually, you realized this would be a good time to bring out the fudge you got to share while everyone was clustered together. Hey, wait, before we go, I've got something for everybody. The announcement grabbed everyone's interest, and they looked over at you, each curious about what you had in store. You dug your hand into the bag and pulled out the specially selected treat. I saw this amazing fudge stall, so I got a box for us to share. Ooh. Aw, that's so sweet of you. The Holdens were wearing matching grins at the prospect of free dessert, their family resemblance more notable as they mirrored each other's expression. Sweet is the right word for this. Thanks very much, Blake. Yeah, thank you. Great. Can't wait to bust it open. We should save it for tonight. You can't properly enjoy a treat when there's still chores to be done. Besides, we don't want to make a mess with it melting in this heat. The others murmured their agreements and nodded, reaching a consensus. You stowed the box away safely for now. Cove then sidled up next to you, an eager smile on his face. You could tell from his expression that he was up to something. Oh boy, what are you doing? Thanks again for getting fudge. It was really cool of you. You knew he hadn't come over just to thank you individually, not with that huge smirk. I got something to share too, but, well, only really with you. I guess I'm not as nice. Oh well. I love him. Also, can I just say I love that his shirt and his necklace match with the little, it's so cute. You cooked up a scheme of your own? He laughed. Anyway, well, I sort of picked something out with you in mind. You held a hand to your chest, staring at Cove as he explained further. Since your moms decided we should shop separately, I figured I could use the time to get you something, just as a little surprise. I love him. He reached into one of his bags and retrieved one of the wrapped up objects. You accepted the unexpected present, and he looked on excitedly as you tore off the paper. It was a glass bottle of root beer soda. You didn't need to taste it to know that it would be nice. It was a boutique product. It was heavy in your hands, the container and smart metal cap reaffirming the quality. Even the label, constructed from coarse paper rather than a flimsy sheet of plastic, was distinctive. Damn, not the fancy root beer! You were practically bouncing in anticipation, and he smiled sweetly at your reaction. I love him! It's not a big deal, but I just thought you might like it. He's so cute. I love him. Thank you. You weren't the only one that had that idea. His eyes began to widen. I got something for you too, when you weren't around. There was a burst of laughter, first from your mom, followed by a chorus of chuckles from the other three. You'd forgotten that they were still hanging around. Unfortunately, they hadn't paid you and Cove the same courtesy and had been listening in on your conversation. Y'all are nosy as shit, goddamn. You weren't even apart for a whole day. And you both still used that as a chance to get each other little gifts. Ma clasped her hands together, eyes bright. That's so lovely. A day? It was less than a whole morning. True, I don't even want to think about what happens when you spend real time apart. That's my boy. He reached back into the bag where you had first retrieved the box of fudge for everyone, shuffling it aside to take out the other one underneath. You chuckled coolly, aware that the others were still watching you. The first one was for everybody, but that's not all I got. I bought a second bunch of fudge that's just for you. Cove's face lit up, his grin stretching from ear to ear. The laughter that came from the others, who were fully tuned into your little show, didn't appear to reach him. You got one just for me. Cove reached out and took the box in both hands, holding it like a precious treasure. He looked at you with eyes full of delight. Thank you so much, Blake. At this rate, it wouldn't just be your little group that knew that you'd been treating him. The whole parking lot was going to learn about it. Behind Cove, you could see Mom watching you both with a smile of hilarity. See, this is why he's so attached. You spoiled him. You shouldn't make fun, Pam. It's clearly mutual. Besides, I don't hear you complaining when I'm spoiling you. Ma pinched Mom's cheek, making her laugh as she batted the hand away. True, true. Liz clapped her hands together with the air of a teacher calling for attention. Since the other adults aren't acting like grown-ups, the rest of us are going to have to pick up the slack. It's time to get back on schedule and continue with the rest of the errands. Playtime is officially over. Ma laughed while Mr. Holden grinned awkwardly. Mom hung her head in an exaggerated display of mock defeat. These people are so goofy, but I love them. Kids are tough, and I can't even call them kids anymore. Liz tut-tutted with amusement at her mother. Cove shrugged, staying a neutral observer, but the small smile on his face revealed that he was enjoying the conclusion. You laughed, glad that everyone was getting along. That's right, we're all grown-ups now. With that, your trip to the farmer's market was closed. It was time to move on. There were too many of you for one car, so you and Cove had wound up in Mr. Holden's car on the way over. You figured it made sense to do the same for the next leg of the journey. You sat next to Cove in the back. He's so sweet, I love him. Immediately after the click of the seatbelt and its lock announced that Cove was safely strapped in, he began to unfold the box of fudge he'd been given. You're gonna eat now? Uh-huh. He nodded eagerly, not taking his eyes from the container. He lifted the top off and longingly admired the selection inside. They had one with caramel? Wow, it's gonna be so nice. That's peanut butter in there, right? Mm-hmm. It's chocolate with peanut butter mixed. Ooh, that's so good. Red fudge. That's gotta be red velvet flavor. You're right. Knew it. Delicious. I love red velvet. Can you tell me what the little flecks are? It's toffee. Once Cove had finished bestowing praise on what you'd picked, he promptly started sampling the selection. He was smiling, licking his lips, and having a grand old time. You could also tell from the way his nibbling was turning into munching that the box wasn't going to survive the trip to the next stop. You were right. Cove had tried to savor the treats, claiming just one more until there was only one left, and the statement was finally forced to be true. He finished the last one, too. He sighed contentedly. Thanks again, Blake. Those really were great. You're welcome. He set the picked clean box to the side, then rested his hands on his spoiled tummy. Cove wasn't going to be hungry for a while after that. From there, he sat wordlessly, gaze drifting to the window. You knew Cove well enough to spot the signs of when he was physically present but mentally elsewhere. The way he would fall quiet, staring without seeing, the long blinks, all of which he was doing right now as he looked at nothing in particular. He licked his fingers absent-mindedly, getting the last of the melted fudge off his hand. You were pleased he enjoyed it so much. You closed your eyes as you pulled up the resolve to speak. You were miles away for a second. What were you thinking about? Cove idly rubbed at his face. Honestly, I was just thinking about how nice it is to know you. It, makes life better and everything. He's so cute, stop it! Though he was turned away from you, his eyes were round round and sincere. Not that this is a new revelation, but today was another reminder. I'm lucky. I feel lucky too. He peeked at you from the corner of his eyes, still too shy to look at you directly. You smiled at him affectionately, eliciting an equally caring smile from Cove in return. You felt content, secure in your relationship with Cove. Yeah, enjoy your drink now. Why the hell not? You twisted off the cap and brought it to your mouth. Even before the first sip reached your lips, the scent tickled your nostrils. You took a swig. It was refreshing, the perfect way to hit the spot after a long morning trawling through the market. This is great. Thanks, Cove. He grinned at you, pleased that his pick had been well received. You're welcome. You spent the rest of the day completing the remaining errands all together as a group. You know what? The brief independence thing wasn't that bad once Cove and I got in the swing of things. Yeah, you had enjoyed your brief independence. It might not have come about under ideal circumstances, but it had provided you with an opportunity to spend time making your own choices. You felt that you'd risen to the challenge. Okay, how is that one so much shorter? See, I'm reluctant to try and get through another one because my luck, the next one will be a super long one. This isn't fair. The first moment took us 2+ hours. This game's wild. Hold on, let me weigh my options here. I could try and do one more. But what if that's a long one? That might come back to bite me. I'll sip some water while I think about it. Are those moments in order so you can play them technically in any order? My understanding by the person who made the game is that they are intended to be played like I'm playing them, from left to right, top to bottom. However, some people, after playing a couple times, will develop a preference of like which ones they like to play before other ones. It's really like up to you though. Like if I wanted to, we could do the drive one, we could do the charity one, we could do the late shift one. Like it doesn't have to be in order. I like going in the order they're given. It also depends, because like some of them will make brief references to other ones. So if you want there to be like more space in between, then you could play like a couple more moments in between. It's really all just comes down to preference. Yeah, you know what? I think it's gonna end up being an early call. Plus, in theory, I have an AGT episode to go watch. So, appreciate y'all for hanging out with me. I will see y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the talks moment. Plus, I think for step 3, it is kind of nice to space it out like this. So the grade just means that we've already done it. That's the only reason that they're grayed out like that. So you'll see when I go over the blue, it kind of changes from blue to either like an orange or like a red. And that's like showing me that it's the selected one. So if I click that, it'll start and bring me in that. Yeah, they're just grayed out when we're... But yeah. Yeah, sorry it was such a short stream. I guess it's really hard to predict how long these moments are. But it's okay. I still think we had fun. I will save us right here. And like I said, tomorrow will be at least talks. Not to mention, I'm super freaking tired. I don't have it in me to do another one right now. It's so much reading. But yeah, thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. I will see you around tomorrow for TikTok or Twitch or both or whatever the heck we get up to. And as always, take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. It's hard being a person. You're doing the best you can. I am proud of you. And don't forget to live a life that pisses off a bigot. Bye, y'all.